Shaslam Jisrajam Brahma Brahma Spatana Fribanuti Shirisaranam Om Om Om. Hello, this class is second in a series that's working with Ajna chakra, also known as the sixth chakra or the third eye. But it's a standalone class, so feel free to just jump right in with this one. I teach a series on six of the chakras where we spend a month on each one. And the idea there is that you can take any subset or the entirety of the practice that we do and do it every day. Even as little as 3 minutes, but pick something and do it every day and notice the accumulative effect of doing it that way. All right, I don't think there's anything special I need to say. Let's go ahead and tune in and jump right into this practice. We're streaming right now on January 3rd of 2021. And it's always nice to have a guiding principle in your life. In the West, we call that an intention, or and those get set once a year. But with yoga, you do it all the time. So pick a guiding principle. What is it that you would like to have as your guiding star, your lodestar, your north star, your compass, that helps you with all of the decisions, with how and what you do with your life? Just pick one for now. Typically, with yoga, you hold on to this same intention until you start to notice a ripple in your life that indicates that it's working. Good. And then we're going to tune in with Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale to chant. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Usually when I'm teaching a class, I do my best to give the reasoning and the philosophy behind why we're doing something. And today I'm going to be slightly more personal in saying what I've noticed with working with Ajna chakra. And I'm going to classify that as synchronicity, which is events in my life seem to have a coordination and a support that almost defies reason. Well, and I think it does defy reason, because when you're working with Ajna chakra, it's a tapping in to an awareness and a way to work with something beyond our senses. So let's start with, I'm going to have Brian put up an image of the pituitary gland right now. And I'll talk us through that just a little bit. We're going to work with the tongue mudra that presses up into the soft palate. So if you can identify on that image where the soft palate is, you'll see that it's at the very back portion of your mouth. And then there's the passageway of your throat, which for some people who really work with the tongue mudra a lot, they actually press that close so that they're suspending the breath. Then you'll see on the other side of that passageway, there's the bony structure of the sinuses. And then just past that is the pituitary. And the pituitary hangs down from the base of your skull into a little bony divot. And that divot is full of fluid. So we're going to be doing a couple of different things today to vibrate that spot. And let's just do some basic warm-up. I'll do some spinal flex if you prefer to do hands and knees with cat-cow, or even move into and out of up dog, down dog. But the idea here is that we're gonna get our spine feeling a little more flexible and warmed up. So you can do this inhaling and exhaling, inhaling, arching, exhale, rounding back, or you can move independently of your breath, whatever feels good, or maybe do both at different points. Start to train your focus. Start to condense your focus. We'll be doing that throughout the practice. And right now, have it be in your spine. To the best of your ability, exclude all other thoughts and just feel how your spinal column feels, and try and make it feel more nimble and warmed up. All right, excellent. Inhale, sit tall, lift up on the pelvic floor. Exhale, and let's do some more spinal warm up, and we're going to rotate the vertebra of the spine. So your focus is still on the spinal column. We'll inhale one direction, exhale the other. Refine the practice a little bit by making sure your shoulders are dropped down, your shoulder blades are around on the back of your body, your chest will feel broad, your elbows will feel broad. If it feels all right for your neck, feel that rotation that works its way up the spine, continue into the neck. You might need to slow down so you don't feel like you're getting whiplash. And then we're going to switch the breath. Whichever side you're inhaling towards, make that now the exhale side, and vice versa. Perfect. Inhale to center. Lift up on the muscles of the pelvic floor. Exhale, relax. Shrug the shoulders up and down a few times. Good, and then just one more warm up of the spine. Nice and easy. In fact, everything we're gonna do today is easy. Again, so your focus is in your spine, and you're just gonna try and get as much mobility side to side as you can. You can do that with your fingers on top of your shoulders, or if it feels better, with your fingers interlaced behind your head. Inhale when you come up, exhale when you bend to the side. Great, inhale, stretch up, lift up on the pelvic floor. And exhale. Straighten your legs, bounce your knees. Okay, good, and then come back to cross-legged. And this is the first practice where we're going to be thinking about the pituitary gland. Remember where that location was. The hand mudra that we'll use is index fingers pointing up, and you want your fingers to feel like they're steel rods. And then the other 3 fingers are holding them down with your thumb. And you're gonna look funny for this practice. You're gonna scrunch your nose up like you're smelling something bad. And then a nice, slow, steady breath of fire. We're gonna do this 4 minutes, so pick a pace that you can manage for that long. Good, so get your rhythm going, keep going. Your nose is wrinkled up in such a way that your upper lip sort of lifts up over your upper teeth. And see if you can do it in such a way where you feel pressure in that spot where you noticed the pituitary was. It's quite tricky, but if you can also get your tongue up into the soft palate, you can do that as well. Great. Keep going. You're doing a wonderful job. One of the symbolic ideas in yoga is a little sub-chakra called Kundalini chakra, and it's supposed to be where a reservoir holds the fluid of bliss that drips down, and as that fluid drips down, it hits the fire in our belly and is burned off and is associated with dying, essentially. As that amrit is burned off through the course of our life, that is correlated to our longevity. So I wonder if Kundalini chakra was not just a symbolic representation for this fluid reservoir of the pituitary. The pituitary commands just about every function in the body, and as we're able to control, stimulate the pituitary, can that coordinate our longevity? Can it extend our longevity? All right, just a tiny bit longer with this practice. Wonderful, great. Deep inhale. Lift up on the muscles of the pelvic floor. Scrunch your nose up. Feel like you're putting pressure on the pituitary. Exhale, relax. Pause for a second. So with Shambhavi Mudra, we're going to use the position of the eyes to put pressure on the pineal gland. Go ahead and take your index finger to the tip of your nose and gaze towards your index finger. Now follow your focus upwards until your finger is at a spot directly in between your eyebrows, and continue that upward gaze. Great, then relax the eyes, close them. Good. Next practice, we'll have our mouth in an O shape, and we'll breathe in and out of the mouth. Again, a nice, very slow breath of fire pace with the breath. And your hands are going to be like their claws. And you want to really get into that sense of almost being like a lion or something that has claws. And let's go ahead and start the breath practice. Good, and then we're going to start to punch with our fists, almost like you're striking, and coordinate that movement with your breath. we're moving towards the end of the practice, and I'd like you to intensify it. You're going to use this to release all of your inner anger. I'd like you to intensify the focus physically, mentally, spiritually, get aggressive in all of those ways, and really feel like your arms are a striking lion. All right, inhale, draw your claws up, tighten everything in your body. Tighten, 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 tighten. When you need to exhale, shake it out for a second. Another deep inhale, tighten everything. Clasp your claws. Exhale, shake it out. One more time, inhale and tense. Great. Let's do Shambhavi Mudra again. It's easier to get your eyes into the position when they're open, but let's use the memory of what it felt like a moment ago and keep your eyes closed, but take them up into the mudra. Imagine that you can see your finger at the tip of your nose, and then guide your eyes upwards as you move that imaginary finger. Maybe you can even see the finger in your mind's eye up into the mudra. Perhaps you take your tongue all the way back to the soft palate. Great, relax the breath. We'll do a variation on lion's pose next. And typically we do that sitting on the heels. You can do it sitting in a chair, or really any way that you like. If you're gonna sit on your heels, go ahead and put your big toes together. You can even kind of hold on to your big toes with each other. Hands on the knees. We're going to inhale deeply, and then exhale and stick your tongue out as far as it will go until you really feel that slightly painful tug at the base of your tongue where it attaches to the floor of the mouth. Here we go. Good. And then when you need to breathe, pull your tongue in, clap your hands together, and breathe in. And then we'll do it again. Great, keep going. So the most important thing in this practice is that you feel that slightly painful tug at the back of your tongue where it attaches to your throat or the floor of your mouth, back in the far back. This is going to impact the nervous system, and where it hurts in your tongue will change over time, and eventually it will actually stop hurting altogether. We're going to do it 3 minutes total. You're doing fantastic. Last 30 seconds, get that tongue out as far as it will go. Inhale, lift up on the pelvic floor, and then exhale, stick the tongue out as far as it will go, hold the breath out. Release. Inhale, stick the tongue out. Exhale, release. Inhale, stick the tongue out, and release. Good. Come off of your feet. If there's any part of you that feels stiff or sore, attend to that part. And now we're going to sit in any meditative posture that feels the most comfortable. We'll be here for, I think, probably 6 minutes or so. For those of you who can sit in Siddhasana, Padmasana, half lotus, go ahead and pick one of those. We'll be chanting Om, and you may stay in sync with how I'm chanting it, or you may end up being in a slightly different rhythm. Either way is good. We're going to have all 8 of our fingers pressing into the center of the brow. Inhaling. Om. Great. And then just to clarify a couple of things, you want to make sure that you create a sense of vibration in the roof of your mouth, and in particular at that spot where the pituitary gland is. We want to vibrate the pituitary gland. Fluid has a greater ability to vibrate than solids. So as you're doing this, think about your pituitary in its little fluid suspension vibrating and getting additional stimulation. So that's what you're doing with, that's one of the main things you're going to do with this practice of chanting Om. All right, again, let's start. And one last time. In your mind's eye, in your mind's ear, hear the sound of the chanting continue off into infinity. Feel the vibration deep in your head. come lying down on your back. Here's a couple of tips for coming onto your back. We're going to make sure our spine is really straight and long. So if you come onto your back, do a little mini bridge pose. Lift up into a bridge pose. Feel like your sacrum is being pulled long, and then slowly lower down one vertebra at a time, lining them up. Good. And with your feet still here, push your feet away from your body so that it draws your shoulder blades down your back. Good. And then if your core can handle it, go ahead and lift your feet up off the ground, extend your legs out, make everything tight for a few seconds. Tighten everything in your body. And then when you relax, relax more because of taking attention to chronic, taking your body's attention to chronic holding by doing that contraction. If you can, I'd like you to try something while you're relaxing. So your physical body is completely relaxed and still. Tap in to your energetic body. The more you're able to be still with your physical body, including your eyes, the easier it will be to feel that energetic hum of life in your body. Some other ways that you might be familiar with this are if you've ever had acupuncture and you can feel the sensation surge through your body when a needle is inserted. Sometimes I'll feel this when I really come into a great alignment of a yoga pose. I can feel the energy move throughout some part of my body. Continue relaxing physically and becoming more and more aware of that energetic tingling, hum, buzz of life throughout your body. Continue to relax. And it's as though you're able to look down and see yourself from above. Notice how peaceful your face looks. Feel a sense of affection as you look down at yourself, lying on the ground. And then notice that you're able to see the energetic body as well. See the life force, the chi, the prana, all throughout your body. Maybe visualization is challenging for you, and if so, have a sense of this. Have a sense of the energetic body, the energy throughout your body. And now hone that down to a spot right in between your eyebrows, brumadhya, and then either in addition to or instead of, you might see a spot of intense light and activity in the center of your head at the site of the pineal gland. Either one is fine, either one works. Visualizing or sensing your energetic body. Noticing the greater intensity at the eyebrow center or at Ajna chakra in your skull. And if you like, have the image of an eye at either of those spots open and gaze up back at you. Let go of those visualizations. Wonderful. And we're going to come up for seated meditation now. We're going to use Tritaka, the same one we did last week. I'll talk us through it. So you're either going to roll to your side or curl up in a ball and roll along the length of your spine and make your way upright. I should have told you to set this up before we started the practice. If you have a candle handy, that's the ideal thing to use to gaze at. But you can also use a yantra or any other relic that holds meaning for you. Whatever you choose, go ahead and set it up so that it's sitting at the level of brumadhya, of the third eye spot, and that it's about arm length distance away from you. I'll give you a little time to get that set up. We're going to work with 3 different levels of doing this practice. You can move as far along this pathway as you'd like, but it should always feel effortless. Once you get your object to gaze at set up, then you want to get settled in your body. So again, we want to cultivate a sense of being absolutely still in our body. And we'll take a minute or two to really focus on that portion of the practice. As always, with any meditation practice, if you have developed the ability to sit in one of the postures that enhances meditation, choose one of those now. Then there's this technique where you start to move from the base of your body up to the top of your head, imagining that you're turning yourself into stone or a statue. If you prefer to be a mountain or a tree, choose that, but start down at your base. And notice this sense of seizing up, freezing up, working its way from the bottom up to the top. And whereas you might have thought that this would be an uncomfortable sensation, what you find is that it's actually quite a relief. Surrendering your physical agitation to total stillness. Noticing that the stillness lets you be more internally focused. And now we'll start to work with the image that we will be gazing at. You'll let your eyes kind of just drift open and gaze at the flame tip of your candle, perhaps a yantra, or some other relic that has distinct meaning for you. Gazing, focusing. Continue gazing, feeling the stillness of the object reflected in the stillness of your body, the stillness of your mind. When your eyes feel itchy or start to tear up, then go ahead and close them. And the practice is to pull up the mirror image of what you were gazing at. It'll look almost like a photographic negative. Keep gazing, keep gazing. There's some ability to pull the image back, to refine the image as it starts to fade. See if you can enhance the image or enhance it as it starts to fade away. And eventually it will be gone. And when that happens, eyes open back up, gaze at your image. Whenever you're ready, the eyes close back down, focusing on the after image. So this might feel very satisfying. If, however, you have a craving for something more, once your eyes are closed, really have a sense of the after image being at the exact spot where your fingers were pressing for the previous meditation. See the after image there. And when you breathe in, feel that you're drawing the after image right into the center of your head. And when you exhale, it comes back out to the spot in between the eyebrows. You may feel that you need to open your eyes and reestablish the after image from time to time. If you're doing this practice, drawing the image into the center of your head, you can use Ujjayi breathing to enhance the practice. This may feel very satisfying just as it is. If, however, you feel a craving for more, take your tongue up into the soft palate and overlay the drawing in of your breath with the mental chanting of And when you breathe out, just a few more breaths in this manner. Good, and then stop the practice. I'm going to do one last thing. It will take just a minute of the actual practice and another little bit of time at the end to reflect upon it. So we'll use Shambhavi Mudra, the eye mudra. And we're going to do our best to hold it for a minute. And supposedly, after you've held it for a minute and then relax, everything will be revealed. Let's see how it goes. All right, so if you're able to just get there immediately, go right to it. However, if you'd like to use the finger technique to take yourself deeply into the mudra, go ahead and do so. ahead and relax your eyes. Know that the pineal gland is at this point able to take in information in a way that we may not be used to. Allow that process to happen. Feel the way that your brain functions actually shift and change. All right, good. Rub your palms together. Rub them till they're nice and hot. Cup your palms over the eye sockets. If you'd like, you can press the fingers stacked over each other right at the eyebrow center so that all three of the eyes are cupped in darkness and warmth. Allow holding your hands here to ease any tension or strain. Good. And then let your hands come down. We'll chant 3 long satnams to end. Deep inhale together. May we find our inner wisdom and guidance, and may we follow the wisdom. Satnam, namaste. Thank you so much for practicing, and see you next time. If you can, pick one part of the practice from this week or last week and do it every day. See you next week.